So let's move on to one other subject I wanted to cover. Placement and persistency. I'll call placement and persistency the silent assassin because you don't know that it's bad until you start checking policies that are lapsing that you're going to get chargebacks on. Okay. So one thing about placement and persistency is, and I have it's called a post sell. So in the training website, I talk about placement persistency on the homepage, and you need to watch that video. But just in general, after you make a sale, always test the premium. Ask the client, okay, now Joe and Mary, let me ask you this $129 a month premium. This is your commitment for the next 30 years, 20 years, 40 years, 60 years. Is this something you feel comfortable doing? Like, you know why you want to make this payment, right? Now, Christmas is coming and you're going to have all these bills coming out in January. Are you going to look at that 129 coming out of your account? Are you going to call me and tell me you want to cancel? Then I just shut up and let them answer the question. Like, I am testing it, and I tested several times during the appointment because I want to hear them say, yeah, you're right. That's probably a little bit more than we can afford. Thank God, glory, hallelujah. Okay, so let's go to option 2, and that was like $79 a month. Is that going to be better in your budget? Like, seriously, don't upsell, downsell, downsell. Like, you can upsell them early, but then at the end of the appointment, try to take it away. And if they let you take it away, then you did the right thing. Okay. So that's one of the most important things that we do. The second thing in the post sell that's super important is you tell your client, hey, Joe, listen, I know you're going to have questions for him after we're done. And so I'm going to give you a call back in a day or two, and I will give you a call back and I'll answer whatever questions you have. So make sure you write those questions down, and then, then I can answer those questions. Then you call them back 2 days later. You say, hey, Joe, Alex, I promised you, right? I promised you I'd give you a call back. So what questions do you have for me? And you just wait, okay? Because this is where you get buyer's remorse, because they're going to tell you, yeah, Alex, my wife and I have been talking, and okay, and you know what's going to come after that, right? We just think it's blah, 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 blah. They're going to cancel. And so what you need to do is listen. It's like, yeah, you know what? That's why I'm calling. Because I had sort of gotten a feeling when I left that it might be a little bit too high for you. So that's why I'm glad we're talking right now. Listen, let's revisit this. If $129 is too much, remember that middle option of 79? Do you think that'd be a little bit better, a little bit easier to make? Right. And then you rewrite it, right? Or you call the carrier and say, listen, we're going to drop the coverage so we can get it down to what the client can afford. Okay. Super important. And you have to exercise that discipline every time. You're fooling yourself thinking that if you just let it go, like, well, the reason why a lot of agents won't do that is because they think, oh, the client's going to cancel. Exactly. That's what you want to know. You want to find out beforehand so that you got something to do, that you can, take care of it. Because if you find out after you get the charge back and you try to call them back, sometimes they won't answer your phone because they know it's you, right? So be very, very discerning to implement these techniques. The third one is making sure the client knows when that draft is coming out. Okay. So when you're done with the client, say, now look, your draft is going to come out like immediately. Okay. So when I submit this, today's Wednesday, it'll probably come out of your account Thursday or Friday. Is that going to be okay? Right? You want to know if that $129 is going to be in that account. And you shut up and let them answer the question. Okay. When they hesitate, right? They hesitate, then you say, okay, is that going to be a problem? They say, well, yeah, I think it's probably going to be a problem. Okay, awesome. Okay. Is it okay? When's going to be a good time to draft your first payment? Tell me. The 15th of the month? Okay, great. Why don't we change the draft date to the 15th of the month instead of immediately, so we know when it's going to come out? So you sure the 15th is going to be good? Okay, great. Then what you do is you call them that week. Let's say the 15th is in a couple weeks. So you call them 3 or 4 days before and just remind them, hey, Joe and Mary, this is Alex. I just want to remind you, your draft payment is coming out on the 15th. Is that still okay? Right. You have to take everything in your control, because those are the things you can control, to remind the client when their draft's coming out. Okay. So those are 3 important things that can help you reduce chargebacks and increase your persistency, right? Retest the premium, call them back in a couple of days, look for buyer's remorse, and then remind them when the premium's going to be coming out of their account.